He said,
Oh,
we have to continue to bomb Syria in case ISIS
yeah,
bubbles up again. And I have the
yeah,
documentation of the
yeah.
creation of ISIS, like,
M-
I mean,
Mujahideen, Taliban, like what are we
yes.
talking about?
And then Michael Flynn, everyone's like, oh, poor Michael Flynn. He was the head of the Defense Intelligence
Yes.
Agency. And he said, oh, I mean, it would be so great if we had something called ISIS, which doesn't exist yet. But if it was
Mm.
on the border of Syria and Iraq to destabilize Syria, that would be great. That would be awesome. We would love that. Like literally says that. And I don't think you can find it. I had to go find it I had it saved.
Saved, yes, you won't.
Yeah, it's not even in archive.org anymore. It's not on
This
Wayback Machine.
it's
They
a
scrubbed
long
that
time
recently. They
ago.
took it down and scrubbed it.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. A long time ago, and this is very close to what we're talking. 2000 and maybe six. I can't remember who it was, but there were a few people that were saying this internet is a wonderful place. It's a beautiful place. But anything that you find that's information that you think is valuable, whether it's a PDF document, whether it whatever, you need to download those
Yes.
things and not just keep them on a cloud or anything. You need to download them and put them onto a physical CD because these crazy little weirdos, these space monkeys, these
Yeah.
terrorists, they have some uh, out of this world technology where you can download a PDF and it'll be on your desktop, on your computer, on your tablet, on your phone. As long as there's a connection, a GPS connection, they can go in and just upload a new version.
Well, I'm glad that you're saying that because I'm a little embarrassed that I have banker boxes, like those document boxes of all the notes. So I was telling you that when I
Yes.
used to have radio show, I had 25 pages of notes for every single show.
Mm,
And I had probably, 500 shows.
yeah.
So I have them. I have them
Yeah.
all. I saved all the
Yes.
hard copies.
Mm,
So, I mean, what it's worth, it doesn't actually have the original source material, but a lot of times I would copy and paste quotes.
yes.
So I have a lot of that stuff printed out some articles, but yeah, it'll be hell trying to find it. But I actually can find it because I have that, I can search my documents and find the actual
Indeed.
thing.
Yes. This is the point. So it's tricky. And especially
Yeah,
with the
so much is lost. So much is already
so
lost.
much is lost. But the other thing is it's getting even harder these days to what's real, what's real and what's
Oh,
fake.
that's a new word I learned this year. Baudrillard and Girard, like two philosophers. Girard is the guy who talks about scapegoats and victim gods and stuff. So Girard is one, but he wasn't, I don't even think he was technically a philosopher, but he's got a philosophy. And then Baudrillard is the guy who says nothing's real, which on the
Yes.
one hand is true. He talks about hyper reality. On the one hand, that is true. But don't forget, like New York Times and Wall Street Journal were trying to say that, actually showing that some of the pictures coming out of Gaza on both sides were
Mm,
fake and
mm,
they were playing into that.
yes.
But, it would be very hard for me to believe that that isn't real. But like if you really take that hyper reality thing too far, you
Yeah.
can let stuff like
Of
Gaza happen and just
course.
dismiss it. But it's also so hard for us to get our minds around it, and we have no control over it.
None, none, none,
No,
none.
so why were there pro-Palestinian protests, but there were like really getting worldwide coverage, and we didn't have that for Syria, which is the same number of people, more people were
Come
probably
on,
killed in Syria.
Monica.
Not as a
Ask that
yeah.
question. It's a very valid one. It's a
I
very
think I
valid
know the
one.
answer. I think
Okay.
they're going for, I wondered for a long time, but once Trump got elected, I thought, okay, he's going to take over. And then they'll allow these things to create real civil
Ah.
unrest here, like a Vietnam template, I think is what they're using.
Oh.
Foreign war, domestic upheaval.
To
Uh,
usher in the martial law 2.0?
yeah. Yeah. And he's got, so his staff, Vance, Musk,
Yeah.
Teal, they want to hollow out the middle level of government,
Hmm.
which is fine because it's totally illegitimate, like
Yeah.
admin, regulatory,
Of
it's totally
course.
illegitimate, it's totally unconstitutional. However, our Constitution, the Ninth and Tenth Amendments say you have to push it down to the states, but they don't want that. If you look at the recommendation for how to redo the Secret Service, they push it up. So they're saying, well,
Wow.
take it all out, but it'll report to one guy. There'll be no accountability or transparency. I mean,
OSS.
yeah, that's what they're doing. So that was that one. Cash Patel says for the FBI, we don't want them all in DC. We want them spread out around the country. I'm like, yeah, I don't. I
Mm,
don't want that. Keep your cops, keep your national
yeah,
police force in
exactly.
DC
Yeah,
and give me the Keystone cops I can keep an eye on.
of course.
And that is what I'm worried about is that you're going to have the unrest and they're ready to start having a lot of law enforcement and of course the biometric
Oh,
data like show me your
yes.
paper, show me your eyeball. They
Yeah.
don't need your eyeball, it's just your face. I mean, they've got that now. You can get on a plane and it'll say, "Hi Monica," like it's messed up.
Well,
Yeah.
for me to enter the wilderness of North America, the brains of the belly of the beast, sorry, I
Ellie,
have
yeah.
I have to have an electronic fingerprint, and I have to scan not just my face, but my eyes, my retinal
Oh,
scan.
you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they have mine, but I would never do it. I don't won't even let them take my picture. You have to like get out of line and say,
Yes.
I don't want it. And then everybody looks at you and they're like, feel bad for you because you're paranoid. And I'm not stupid. I don't think it makes any difference at all. But I said, and the guy asked me last time why, which I'm sure he's not allowed to do. And I said, I
No,
don't
he's
know
not.
if yeah, I said, I don't know if I want you to have like a four-dimensional
Exactly.
record of me, like
Yeah.
my different things at different time over time, how I'm changing over
Yes.
time. Like that's just too much information. She said, well, we don't keep the information. I started laughing.
What's the
He's
point
like,
of
this
keeping it?
gets deleted. I was like, so why are you doing it? What are you talking about gets deleted? You can see if it's getting deleted, you already have that. I walked up,
Yeah.
you have it on your screen. It's the
Yes.
stop and click that we
Indeed.
are talking about. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? They erase it. You're fucking stupid.
Like you're at the police station, you at the central booking, and the
Yeah,
one you took.
don't worry about it. Yeah, it's like anyway. So it's just me like registering a protest, but I don't think heard an interesting thing on a podcast the other day, Anthony Raimondo on the History Homos, which is it's such a terrible name, but they're comedians. They're men who like history. And one of the guys is from York, William from England. And so Anthony was saying, and I think it's true, and it's maybe even obvious, but the way he said it, he said, history is like tectonic plates shifting under your
Mm,
feet. You can't feel it and you can't stop it. And I think even if there is a powers that be, they're only able to do this because of the technology that changes. So these are which they of course foster, but I don't know, and it's not a bad way to think about it because it doesn't feel as much like you're a wimp, like what are you going to do about it? Nothing. It's like, yeah, but you're maybe not even really doing anything about it either.
yeah, yeah.
You're on the top and I'm on the bottom or the middle. I'm in the middle. But yeah,
Well, that's the
I
trick
don't
that
think
they've
it gets you.
played. That's the trick that they've played, Monica. As we know, um, we are powerful.
Yeah.
We are so powerful as righteous um individuals. As individuals, as a mass, we are so powerful. But we have been trained to believe we are helpless, hopeless, and are insignificant. And based upon that, we acquiesce authority to these crazy space monkeys.
Don't say monkey. That makes me fucking crazy. They say Mpox. I'm like, it's monkeys.
Oh, yeah,
It was monkeys. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
was monkeys.
yeah. You
Like,
see,
what are you thinking? Like,
yeah.
what are you thinking?
Come on, come on. That's very synchronistic that you mentioned that
Pisses me
because
off.
literally just before we came on, I was scrolling through the old IG. And it was the ABC, not ABC. I won't say it was them. It was a news thing, and there was a guy with loads of stuff on his face. Like they looked like shaving bumps initially. It was a black male or an Asian male, loads of shaving bumps and stuff. And it was like Mpox, first case in the UK. He came back from Africa and all. And I'm like, look, again, how are you framing this? He came from Africa. He's a black man. He's got monkeypox. With the how things are at
Yeah,
the
and I
moment.
don't think it was. It was in the Congo, a Danish laboratory. Yes, the virus was first discovered in monkeys in a Danish
Yes.
laboratory in 1958.
Hmm.
And the first case was in the Congo in 1970.
Come on.
And I'm just going to say, I don't know if they discovered it in a laboratory, you know. So let's just say it was monkeys and it was in Denmark. So
Yeah.
what's like I just can't stand that stuff. It makes me crazy. But I have two things I have something to tell you and something to ask you.
Yes.
Okay. Unless it's not my place.
No, come on,
Just
Monica.
kidding, just kidding. Okay, so this my listeners have heard me say this like many, many times, and I
Hmm.
will say it many times for the rest of my life because it's my new guiding principle. So last time we talked, my mom was sick, and people loved it because we said a prayer for her in real time and all the prayers. And I don't know if she had told me this by the time we talked or what, but I was saying to her right around that time, I
Hmm.
said, everybody's praying for you, mom. And, I'm praying that you don't suffer. She said, don't pray for that. Don't tell him to pray for that. Just, pray that I could take it, but don't pray for that. I said, oh, okay. All right. All right. She didn't want to not
Mm.
suffer, but she just wanted to take it. But what she said, so I said, well, what do you want me to ask them to pray for? And she said, well, tell them that I love them
Oh.
and to pray for world peace.
Oh,
So,
for some wacky reason, Monica, because look, that's touched me, that has. Because anytime in when I was young, even now, blowing candles out, blowing the wishes off the little flipping dandelions, anything like that. Do you think I ever wished for a chocolate bar, a new bike, anything like that? I always wished for world peace.
wow. That's amazing. And I when you said like we have the power, we have the energy, that's
Mm,
when she said that. I thought, if everybody did that,
mm.
we would have world peace. If every single
Yes.
person prayed for
Yes.
world peace, that's
Mm,
the only thing she asked us to pray for. The only thing she had two other things to say on separate occasions, which I also found very interesting. But in her dying breath,
mm.
her prayer
Yeah.
was not for herself or even for her children. It was for world peace.
Mm.
And the other two things she said is, and these were at different times, but I was with her in the end, like just sitting there.
Yes.
And she was with it till like 36 hours before she died. So
Mm.
we could really, I mean, we could talk. And she said, uh, tell your children to ask themselves, what do I have to give?
Ooh.
And and so I thought, okay, you pray for world peace. That's how you're gonna change the world.
Mm.
What are you gonna do though? She said,
Yes.
ask yourself what you
Yeah.
have to give.
To the
And then the
world.
last thing, the last thing, so these three things together are all you need, in my opinion. The last thing, my daughter was came down to see her for her 95th birthday, which was a week before she died. And my mother pulled her close and she said to her, enjoy everything.
Mm.
And that's it. Those three
Ah.
things. You're going to change the world, you're going to contribute,
Mm.
but you're going to enjoy it, which is the first line of the Bible, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. It's good. So I love that.
Powerful.
I told people that a million times, but I'll never stop because it's my mantra. I should put it in my like Twitter handle because that defines
Yes.
me. And
Uh,
then I have a question for you.
okay.
But it gets back to the news.
Of course.
Okay. So we were talking about immigration. But some things that you were saying earlier reminded me of the Taylor Swift yoga party, which is like such a
Oh
ridiculous thing anyway.
gosh.
And all
Yeah.
the riots and all the Rwandan thing, like all the things
Yes.
that went into that big story, to
That
me, that was a
huge.
really big story. So if
Yeah.
you could tell us
Okay.
what you think of that, because
Okay.
was that not in Birmingham near?
No, 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 no. It wasn't. It was
Okay.
up in. It was close. It's close. It's up in Liverpool. It's up in Liverpool.
Okay.
Hour
Okay.
and a bit away. Hour and a bit away.
Right. Okay.
Um. Okay. So we did actually have a conversation about this, didn't we? I'm sure we did. We did that, and we spoke about Trump. But I can do it
Oh,
again.
so we did talk
We
again
did. We
this
did.
year.
I'm sure we
This
did.
year has been a blur.
Oh gosh,
It's
tell
been
me
a
about it. I was
blur,
thinking actually,
Noble.
we did because we did that, and then we did the Trump assassination.
Yeah.
But no, let's recap. Let's recap.
Okay. All right. Well,
So
it is an end of the year show.
yes, exactly. And I was going to include this because this falls nicely. You see, we're just connected across the pond electronically, spiritually, and
Yes,
all the
it's
rest of it.
fantastic.
It falls in nicely to where I wanted to lead with one of the main points, which I found a big thing for this year. So we had Taylor Swift's themed dance party for some young children, and a terrible, wicked individual stole their lives, stole their lives from them, and attacked other adults. Um, th- th- let's just stick to that at the moment. So this terrible individual had no record of anything in the past, nothing. He's in advertisements for certain companies and, for some very questionable or I would say synchronistic things that were happening all around this point. And then we can only hypothesize because I don't know this individual. But based upon films, based upon books, based upon Project Artichoke, based upon Project MK Ultra, based
Yeah.
upon,
Yeah.
the Tavistock Institute and all the rest of the bits and pieces, we could go for on and on. But um, it's my opinion that this person either two options snapped for some strange reason. They did something very, very, very out of character, which I can't understand why you would even do that. It's highly unlikely, in
Right.
my opinion. Highly
Yeah. Right.
unlikely.
Why? Yeah.
I mean, go to a football match, go to a pub and attack people to go, children? No, it doesn't make sense. So to me, this person was groomed and radicalized by, some nefarious group, should we say. And that's what happens physically. Those poor children are no longer here. And as a result of that, the media, the medies, the shame stream, the lame stream media said, let's stay silent. Let's not say anything. Let's allow some hateful, racist, knuckle dragging people to put out all kind of hateful stuff because they've got a problem with Islam and they've got a problem with immigration. Let's mix the two. Then we've also got a lot of people, normal, good-hearted people of all different nationalities, different, socio-economical backgrounds who feel and see that Britain isn't the great Britain it once was. And they're flooding this place with all kind of undesirable people. So you've got that, and then you've got a feeling of helplessness. Look what's going on. We've got these flipping guys. I can just about afford to heat my home. I'm getting laid off or I'm not getting enough hours here. These guys, they're getting £800 a month. They're dressed in the most nicest things. They've all got smartphones. They're smoking drugs. They're taking all kind of drugs. They're doing illegal activity. They're in plush hotels. They've even got houses. They're getting 200 in some cases, not all cases. £250,000. No, 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 no. £350,000 houses to house people who have come over here illegally. They've thrown their passports away and all kind of stuff. We're not talking about like the
Wow.
the ones who have come with their family and like, look, I'm here to bloody
Yeah. Yeah.
work
Yeah.
and I'm
What are they here for?
contributing.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are people.
Something
So,
else.
so they're all upset and they use that opportunity because the media stayed silent, didn't want to say anything though. He's from Rwanda, he's not Islamic, he's actually Christian. Oh, no, no, we won't do that. We'll allow the filthy platform known as Twitter, aka X, to proliferate all this filth, all this hate, all this division. And then we saw lots of people on the streets. And then we saw another minority who said, let's rob Greg's. Let's break into Greg's and steal bakery stuff, sausage rolls and drinks and stuff like that. I mean, the migrants, the guys killed a little child and we're out there to protest. But in the
Yeah. Let's
meantime, I'm a bit
grab a
hungry.
Danish.
Let's grab a
Yeah.
Danish. Let's grab a spring roll or whatever, a can of Coke. Let's break into Shoe Zone and let's get some shoes as well. it was an opportunity for anarchism to take place.
Yeah.
No real defined reason why they're out there. Then they start attacking the police. And then what happens is we get all of this chaos. We get misguided youth using it as an example. It's the purge. Wait a minute, I've seen this in movies. There's a purge
Yes,
theories
yes.
out. Well, I'm not going
Yeah.
to kill anybody, but what
Star
I'm going to
Trek
do.
had one of those in the 60s. Yeah. Landru. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. So
Yeah.
we
It's
won't
an
kill
old
anybody.
archetype.
Yeah, come on. And they build on it and build on it and update it and update it as time goes on. So they'll smash cars up, they'll run past houses because they're filled with people who are immigrants and break the windows and do all that kind of stuff. And then we fast forward, and then those same people are in courts and they're getting sentenced. And one of the poor souls who was 60 odd, 60, he's in his 60s or late 50s, he got sentenced, was in prison, and then killed himself.
Ooh.
So then we have people
Just
saying,
that mob think can really get you outside of yourself.
yes. One
Yeah.
throws, soon as the one goes, they all go. So then you get two-tier policing. It's two-tier. It's one rule for them, and it's another rule for us. You get disenfranchised. Um, let's use the word indigenous, white British, male and female, are totally disenfranchised.
Yeah.
They're like, what is going on? So they're setting again, division, division,
Mhm.
separation, degradation. Let's bring private corporations in to raise the prices of utilities. So you have nothing. Charles Schwab, what did he say? You will have nothing and you're gonna love it.
Right.
That's what they've created. That's what that whole thing was. And then again, Islam is the broad sort of hatred. That's the target. But then the face of this hatred is a black male, Monica, a young black male. He's the target. So then, anyone who looks like him, who wears the same kind of uniform, I wonder if he was one of their mates. I wonder if he's one of those ones. And then you get, so let me, so before I lead on to that, is there anything you want to add or ask?
Just where it all led to, because
Okay.
it all
Yes.
there was a response by the government to all
Yes.
of that.
Yes. So we
So
had
there
the
is the solution, the problem, reaction, then here's what's the solution.
exactly. So
Quotes.
we got the laws now. We have the law in place. We have it in paper, in
Oh, you do?
legislation.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's two bills that run kind of simultaneously, which unfortunately, because I mean, freedom of speech, we have the freedom of expression, similar but not worded the same.
Yeah.
No such thing anymore. There's no such thing. Not over here.
Oh, really?
No, no. Like you can't. People have been before this was even put into place. People were being taken to court for tweets. Oh, you've liked the tweet about someone saying,
Wow,
um,
really? Because I knew they were doing that in
yes.
Canada. They don't, I've never heard that here.
Well,
Although there is somebody I heard of who in their court transcript were quotes that he said on a podcast. So they listened to his
yeah,
podcast and they said, well, this is what you're thinking because this is
yes,
what you said. But
yes.
he wasn't getting in trouble for saying it. It was just evidence for what
Evidence
his
to back up.
mindset was.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Uh,
So you can go to court for tweets for liking something?
Liking, for agreeing, for statements, for reposting stuff.
Yikes.
Oh yes, 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 yes. You get. I think someone got 3 years for online activity. The police are turning up. See, now I'm saying this, and guys, feel free just to pause and just go onto Twitter and just type in police, UK police at homes, or just type it into YouTube, and you'll see they'll do it a lot in Ireland as well. They're
Oh,
turning up.
really? That's
Unfortunately,
another
Northern
one of
Ireland,
my origin
yes.
countries. I hate, I feel sad what's happening.
And they're
Wow.
getting overrun, really overrun with the immigration.
Oh, still?
Still,
Oh,
still,
God.
they've signed the deal that it's oh man, it's so frustrating.